There will always be certain cases that resonate with those of us who cover and watch true crime. People always ask me, whatever happened to this family or that particular family? Because they remember those characters, those families. They feel like they know them in some way. Well, this week's case is about that part of the story. It is a murder mystery, and an intriguing one at that, but it is also about what happens in the days and the years after someone is violently and unexpectedly ripped from your life. How do you go on? Can you go on? This week you will meet three extraordinary, completely remarkable women, a mother and two sisters of a young woman named Nancy Bishop who was murdered more than 2 decades ago. Each of those women has had to find a way to deal with the loss. And they have, but they're totally at odds, except that these three women are not at odds with each other. And that is what I found fascinating about this case. When producer Chris O'Connell came to me and told me about it, the murder mystery part of it was interesting, but it was how these women have found a way to go on. And as a person who is sometimes accused of having strong opinions, I could not imagine how you could sit down with your family and not engage in a passionate debate about such strong and differing opinions, and yet they have found a way. And in the last few months, I have had to find a way. Little did I know when we started covering this case that there would be a point in my life I'd sort of be faced with a similar situation. About a month into covering this case, my family also suffered a horrible, tragic loss. My brother-in-law was killed in a car accident. Doug had a very full life. He was a father of 4. He was a husband, a son, a brother. He was my husband's business partner, and for 25 years, the two of them talked on the phone or saw each other every single day at work. Somehow, the family has had to find a way to go on, and this is the second time. He is the second sibling of theirs that was killed in a car crash. And yet, this family has found a way to work together, including my husband's mother, his siblings, all of their spouses, and all of our children. There were 20 of us. Now there are 19. In the last 6 months since his death, I have witnessed at least 19 different ways of dealing with this loss, and I have not agreed with all of them. But the first round of holidays and special events are upon us since his passing. And like those three women from this week's show have done for more than 2 decades, my family too will sit down, hold hands, say a prayer of thanksgiving, probably shed some tears, and hopefully we'll share some laughter, although I'm sure it will be bittersweet. And we'll have to find a way to do that. Because even though we differ on how to handle things, what remains most important to all of us is that the 19 stay together. For more than 2 decades covering crime, I have witnessed almost every imaginable way of dealing with grief. Some of it seems normal. Some of it is different because it's not maybe what you or I would do, including forgiving a murderer and, in one case, befriending one. I've learned in the last few months from this family that we've spent so much time with, as well as my own, that grief is often tied to the depth of the relationship and the kind of relationship that one has with the person who has been lost. It's very challenging. Often what you said and what you did not have a chance to say before that person died ties into it. Grief and how you handle it seems to be so closely tied to healing. Grief is often the expression of excruciating personal loss. But healing, as I've discovered in the last few months, is also about how you honor the person who has been lost. I'm Maureen Maher. I hope that you'll join us this weekend. The show is called Road to Redemption.